bunker buster bombs. This is the latest retaliation coming about after the death of Larijani. We have Ghazali, my colleague, joining us to get us the latest. Ghazali, take us through this latest Iran's wave of attacks. While promising to avenge the death of Larijani, take us through what's happening on the ground, explosions that are being heard in central Israel.
Iran is now retaliating for the assassination of Larijani, the national security chief. And that is why these wave of attacks are targeted towards central Israel, northern Israel as well. But fresh explosions have been heard in the central Israel, in the railway stations. The impact site has been around the railway tracks and the railway station in central Israel. And it appears now that Iran is going to continue attacking Israel, especially after Israel claimed yesterday that they had assassinated Larijani, the security chief of Iran. And after that, there have been relentless missile attack towards Israel from Iranian side, not just today morning, but even midnight, overnight, there have been multiple wave of attacks which have been launched by Iran. Though it is being told or reported from there that perhaps there have been 2 deaths or killings in these attacks as well. But as usual, Israel claims that these have been fragments of intercepted missiles which were intercepted by their area defense system. But the visuals currently show on your screen that the railway station in central Israel have been impacted. It has impacted the movement of the trains as well in the city center, and it is particularly on a big urban area in Israel which has come under attack from Iran.
Right, Ghazali, of course, explosions that are being heard in several parts of Israel. This is the retaliation to the assassination of Larijani, Iran's ultimate this is the backroom power broker and Iran's security chief, who has been eliminated in airstrikes. The announcement was made by Prime Minister Netanyahu and the Israeli foreign minister. The Iranian state media has gone ahead and confirmed this. And of course, this is being seen as a major double blow to Tehran's leadership. The Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, said that Iran's regime is being dismantled and the senior-most figure, Ali Larijani, has been eliminated. Backing those claims, Israel's foreign minister has also stated that Larijani had a reported bounty of $10 million on his head and said Israel carried out the operation without claiming any reward. Meanwhile, Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi has said that Iran has a strong political foundation and one person's absence won't make that much of a difference. Iran also added that the attacks in Israel's Tel Aviv and other areas where the train station was damaged and 2 civilians are being reported to have been killed was to avenge the death of Larijani. Here's how Israel is reacting.
Yes, one of their top person was, they say, a lot of people say their actual top was killed yesterday, along with somebody else who was responsible for the killing, the man that was responsible for the killing of 32,000 people over the last 2 weeks. He was in charge of the killing of protesters. It's an evil group. I mean, they've killed much more than 32,000 people. And the man who was responsible for that was also killed yesterday.
In the past 24 hours, we knocked out 2 of the terrorist chieftains, the top terrorist chieftains of this tyranny. Our aircraft are hitting the terror operatives on the ground, in the crossroads, in the city squares. This is meant to enable the brave people of Iran to celebrate the Festival of Fire. So celebrate and Happy Nowruz. We're watching from above.
Larijani was also under U.S. sanctions for the same reason, with a $10 million prize on his head. We did it for free, anyhow.
Let's talk about the person, Larijani, who has been eliminated at the age of 67. The importance of, this supreme leader. We're talking about, how close he was to the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. He was the closest to him. He's a regime insider with deep roots, close to the core power structure shaped by Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Now, he understands both hardline as far as the security thinking and the political pragmatism is concerned. He was a man who could bridge between hardliners and moderates, and he played the role of consensus builder and could shape internal unity and influence. Do remember, he played a very crucial role when it came to protests in the month of January. Iran's response, as far as diplomatic backchannels are concerned, he was the biggest player known in diplomatic circles. He could act as a negotiator. He could help in the de-escalation of the conflict, which is on day 19 today. On the 18th day, he was eliminated at the age of 67 when he had gone to meet his daughter. Strategic voice on the war doctrine was the man, and he had influence over proxy warfare decisions as well. He had engagements with the groups across the region. So, a very important man who has been eliminated by Israel. Israel, they're claiming that there was a bounty on his head and that they're not even claiming that reward, but they have taken out Ali Larijani. Now, Iran's war strategist, the trusted lieutenant of, the supreme leader who was killed on the 28th of February, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Now, he rose from being a soldier to a diplomat, and also he executed the survival playbook after the strike that started on the 28th of February. He overshadowed the new leader, the son of Ayatollah Mujtaba Khamenei, in visibility. He emerged as a face of the wartime leadership. He stepped into, being that public voice of the regime. He coordinated missile strikes and defense strikes. He oversaw nuclear site security as well. He was the architect of the strategy to close the Strait of Hormuz. Backchannel talks, whether it was through Oman or Qatar, were being handled by him. He was seen as a possible peace broker. Now, he has been eliminated. So, very important, very crucial, power, broker here of Iran has been eliminated. Ghazali, my colleague, joining us to get us very latest on this. Ghazali, Iran's National Security Council has confirmed the death of its chief. Take us through the kind of loss this means for Iran.
It's a big setback because Israel has been taking out all the top leaders, be it from the civilian government or from the military leadership. But as far as Larijani is concerned, he was a figure which was significant for both the administration, whether it was civilian administration or for the military, because he was a kind of a philosopher, a kind of a go-to person when it was like after the death of Ali Khamenei, who would be the successor? Mujtaba Khamenei became the successor, but Larijani had a big hand in getting him appointed as the successor. So when it comes to military strategy, when it comes to also pushing regime's narrative for all these years, Larijani was the voice and the brain behind everything. As far as the protest is concerned, the December-January protest in Iran, Larijani was the one who played a significant role in suppressing that as well, or using force against the protesters in Iran. So he was a key figure, a key strategist, somebody who always had diplomatic negotiation skills, as well as when it came to carrying out military strikes. In the last 1 week after the death of Mr. Khamenei, he was the one who was also taking calls and also sort of advising about the military strikes in the region, be it in the Arabian Gulf states or against Iran, against Israel and US assets in the region.
Ghazali, like you mentioned, a key pillar of strength there, and of course he was being seen as a de facto figure after the death of Ayatollah Khamenei. He was personally picked as a deputy, and many viewed him as a de facto leader of the Islamic Republic following the death of the earlier supreme leader. He was the secretary of Iran's National Security Council. He was the regime's key figure, like Ghazali was mentioning, after the assassination of Khamenei on the 28th of last month. Let's just get you more details of, is this going to be enough as far as the conflict is concerned? Eliminating Larijani, Iran's National Security Council there, confirming the death of its chief. He was killed by this Israeli airstrike and is the most senior Iranian, fatality that we've seen since Ayatollah Khamenei's death on the first day of the war. Let's get you all the details in this report.
Iraqi city of Najaf into a prominent Shia clerical family, Ali Larijani moved to Iran as a young boy. Educated at the religious seminary in Qum, he also studied Western philosophy and obtained his PhD from the University of Tehran. Larijani quickly rose to prominence during the Iran-Iraq War of the 1980s, serving in the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and as Iran's Deputy Minister of Labor and Social Affairs. He then held several other senior posts in the years that followed and unsuccessfully ran for president. But he returned to a position of influence in 2024 when the Supreme Leader appointed him as his representative in the Supreme National Security Council, Iran's most powerful security and defense body. In June 2025, the conflict with Israel and the US was a huge setback for Iranian political life, and Larijani's stance hardened, cancelling a cooperation agreement with the UN's nuclear watchdog, declaring it no longer effective. Ali Larijani was accepted by many Iranian politicians, both for his religious, conservative credentials and his ability to negotiate with the West. Yet his defiance grew when, despite indirect talks with the United States in Geneva, Israel and Washington launched their attacks on Iran. In one of his last messages on social media, Larijani declared the Strait of Hormuz will either be a strait of peace and prosperity for all or a strait of defeat and death for the warmongers. Ali Larijani was a central figure of Iran's post-revolution establishment, with the credibility to navigate its competing power centers. He acted as an important intermediary, balancing the influence of the Revolutionary Guards and the political leadership, linking security institutions and bridging conservative and reformist factions. He also played an important role in coordinating Iran's domestic decision-making with regional diplomacy. His assassination removes a pivotal moderating figure within the Iranian system. Analysts say it could significantly shift the internal balance of power, further consolidating authority around the new supreme leader, Mujtaba Khamenei, and his main backer, the Revolutionary Guards, potentially pushing Iran toward more hardline policies at home and abroad.
And it wasn't just Larijani, in fact, who was killed in an Israeli strike, but also the Basij chief, Soleimani, and his deputy, who were also eliminated. Let's get you details of what happened here as well.
A high-value target hit in the heart of Tehran. Israel says it's killed Ghulam Reza Soleimani, the powerful chief of Iran's Basij force. A critical arm of the Revolutionary Guard Corps tasked with one thing: control on the streets. He was not just another commander. Ghulam Reza Soleimani ran the Basij since 2019, the regime's street power. From 2009 unrest to the 2019 protests to the women-led uprisings of 2022, and as recently as January 26, his forces were at the front lines of every crackdown, with influence over lakhs of personnel. He was central to how Iran controlled dissent from within. The strike reportedly hit a Basij camp in central Tehran. Israel claims precise intelligence, multiple casualties, including the deputy commander. And the Israeli military has continued to strike the camp even after eliminating Soleimani. From nuclear brains to battlefield commanders to internal enforcers, Iran's security architecture is being steadily chipped away. This is part of a longer escalating pattern. Israel has also eliminated Israel's security chief Ali Larijani, a huge blow to Iran's military regime. Earlier Defense Council Chief Ali Shamkhani and IRGC Chief Commander Mohammad Pakpour were also killed in precision strikes. And this latest strike hits at the regime's core strength, control within. The killing of Ghulam Reza Soleimani is not just tactical, it's psychological. A message that no target, especially the high-value ones, is out of reach.
Iranian strikes have hit near an Australian airbase in the UAE. The Australian facilities have been damaged in this latest attack by Iran in an airbase of Australia. This morning, an Iranian strike impacted this area of the Al Minhad Air Base in the UAE, where the Australian Defence Force, the ADF, has a long-standing presence. There were no personnel of the ADF. There's been no injury that has been reported, and all the personnel deployed to the Middle East are said to be safe and accounted for. The strike resulted in minor damage to an accommodation block and medical facility in the Australian section of the base, and Defence's focus is on ensuring the safety and security of our people, and we will continue to devise the force protection measures as the situation is evolving in the Middle East is what the Australian side had to say. The Australian defence's focus is on ensuring safety and security. Do remember, this is not the first attack when it comes to the Australian base. We have Ghazali joining us. Ghazali, after targeting US bases time and again, whether threatening to target the banks, the US based tech giants, now the Australian base has also come under attack, and this is the second such attack ever since the start of the conflict in the last 2 weeks or so.
Yes, this seems to be the first attack on any other air base in the Middle East which is owned by or which is operated by any other country other than US and Israel. And this is the Australian Defence Forces, which claims that perhaps their Al Minhad air base in UAE has come under attack from Iran. And though there have been no major injuries or incident over there, no ADF personnel or Australian Defence Force personnel were injured in the incident. But what they say that it has resulted in minor damage to an accommodation block and medical facility in that section of the base. Now, it is not clear whether this defense base over there or air base, Al Minhad air base, which has come under attack, is exclusively used by the Australians, because in many Middle Eastern countries, the air bases operated by US is also used by other countries or other allies of US. So there is no reason why Iran should attack an Australian air base, military base there.
Second such attack, and the last time the Australian forces in fact said that they have 100 personnel in the UAE. All are said to be safe. That's what they said on the 3rd of March as well, just within a couple of days of the start of the conflict. And here we have 2 weeks in the second attack on the same Al Minhad air base of Australia. This is the Australian Defence Force there talking about how all the people are accounted for. The Al Minhad air base in the UAE has been targeted for the second time during this conflict. Let's just also get you, defining images of what's happened late last night and early this morning. The IRGC has launched its latest attack. This is the 61st wave of missile strikes against Israel. Iran has now intensified its attacks on Israel with an aim to avenge the death of the security chief, Larijani, and that is the retaliation that we see from Iran's side. Now, Iran struck inside these are areas in Tel Aviv and also very close to Tel Aviv in order to avenge the security chief Larijani's death. A train station was damaged. There are 2 civilians who are believed to have been killed in their 70s in this latest strike by Iran. And then Iran has also targeted the US Embassy once again in Iraq. The US Embassy in Baghdad was hit for the very second time as Iran mounts its offensive in the US embassies located in the Gulf. So do remember yesterday as well there was an attack, and again a second attack at the US Embassy. Bomblets that seem to be a cluster ammunitions were seen at the West Bank following sirens indicating an attack from Iran. Israel says that Iran has been firing cluster ammunitions throughout the war, adding a complicated and deadly challenge to Israel's already stretched air defenses. The Saudi Foreign Ministry says it will host the foreign ministers of a group of Arab and Islamic countries for a consultative meeting in its capital Riyadh, and that's going to be taking place this evening. These are images of the Israeli military that attacked Iran's paramilitary group in Tehran. The visuals show the aftermath of that strike and these vehicles that have in fact been set on fire in the attack that took place. Now, we also have the Israeli Air Force there releasing this latest video showing strikes on Hezbollah. These are targets across Lebanon over the past 24 hours. The video shows Israeli forces targeting ammunition warehouses, launchers, and buildings allegedly used by Hezbollah operators. The Israeli forces have claimed that several members of Hezbollah were eliminated in strikes that have taken place in southern Lebanon. And the IRGC, they're releasing a footage showing the launch of its Hajj Qasim ballistic missile in one of its recent barrages for the first time since the start of the war. The IRGC, they're saying that the barrage was aimed at Tel Aviv and Jerusalem and at the US bases in Kuwait, in Qatar, as well as the UAE. And loud explosions were heard in Dubai as Iran missiles intercepted near the Dubai International Convention and Exhibition Center. Witnesses captured the video of the missile interception and burning debris there raining from the Dubai sky. And Iran has hit the central part of Israel in its latest missile attack. These are visuals you can see. This is smoke that's coming out from a locality in the central district. And here we get you visuals from the NDTV camera. What you can see is a missile attack made for the railway station in central parts of Israel. In this video, you can see the Iron Dome intercepting those Iranian missiles. It's day 19 of the war, and after Donald Trump's claims of wiping out Iran's navy as well as its air force, now Israel is shifting focus to the Basij. This is Iran's powerful paramilitary force. But even as he claims success, Trump appears frustrated, taking aim at NATO allies, saying that the United States doesn't need NATO's help and calling their lack of involvement both a mistake and also unsurprising. Meanwhile, fresh violence in Israel, an Iranian missile that's hit this station in Tel Aviv has caused heavy damage. Explosions have also rocked areas in Tel Aviv where at least 2 Israeli civilians have been killed. And amid the chaos is Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who has surfaced in this new video with the US ambassador. The two seen joking about the viral AI claims and even displaying a punch card of targets.
Much help, and we don't need any help, actually. In fact, we just put out a notice. I was watching over the last couple of weeks, and all of our NATO allies were very much in favor of what we did. They thought it was very important. We were just discussing it, actually. Very important that we take out the nuclear threat from Iran, and we've done that very strongly, very powerfully. We've wiped out their navy, wiped out their military in every aspect. I guess one of their top person was, they say, a lot of people say their actual top was killed yesterday, along with somebody else. So everyone agrees with us, but they don't want to help. And we as the United States have to remember that, because we think it's pretty shocking. Not much help, and we don't need any help, actually. In fact, we just put out a notice. I was watching over the last couple of weeks, and all of our NATO allies were very much in favor of what we did. They thought it was very important.
Well, that's right. In fresh escalation, Iran has fired a barrage of missiles towards Tel Aviv and several other locations in central Israel, and there has been devastation that has been reported. Early morning in India, we have now reported that at least 2 Israelis have been killed in Ramat Gan area on the outskirts of Tel Aviv in a major strike. Both these individuals were in fact a couple in their 70s. That's the initial detail that was trickling in. They could not rush towards the bomb shelter. They were on the 4th floor of their residential building when this attack happened. And unfortunately, there are 2 reported killings that have been reported in the latest attack after Ali Larijani, the Secretary of the Supreme Council of the National Security of Iran, was killed by the Israeli airstrikes last night. And now massive devastation in several areas. There has been impact of the Iranian missile debris and shrapnels all across. We also have now reports of the Tel Aviv railway station, the Tel Aviv train station that has come under attack. There's heavy damage that's been reported, not just on the platform and the station itself, but trains also that were stationary there. And now the Israeli railways have issued a statement under the Transport Ministry of Israel that train operations in Israel have been suspended right now, in Tel Aviv especially. So now we'll have to wait and watch how things unfold. There is massive rescue operation that is underway across Tel Aviv in different impact locations. The emergency services are working. Till now, there are only 2 casualties and some injuries that have been reported, but multiple sites where there have been shrapnels that have fell, and this is in response to the Israeli and the American airstrikes that have happened in the last few hours. Last night, NDTV had also reported from Holon station near Tel Aviv, where massive destruction had erupted, and of course there were interceptions by the Iron Dome as well. But this time, the intensity of the missile attacks has been huge. That's been reported from here.
Right, Aditya Rajkar reporting from Israel. He also shows us the impact of Iran's strikes on Israel. Take a look at this ground report.
NDTV currently is reporting from the holiest site of the Jewish community and of course for Christians and Muslims as well. Right behind me is the Western Wall, which is certainly closed right now, and of course you can see the Al-Aqsa Mosque right behind me as well. And apart from that, a little away are the Christian quarters and the Armenian quarter, the Greek Orthodox Church and the Russian Orthodox Church as well. So this is the area which has come under attack last evening, when in one of the churches there was in fact the Iranian missile debris that fell, and there was some damage done to the structural property of that entire area. But these are the visuals coming on your screens exclusively from this particular location. This is the Western Wall, one of the most holiest locations where thousands of people visit every day. There are foreign leaders that often come to Jerusalem and in fact visit this particular holy site. But now the claim from the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Israeli government is that there is continuous attack that is happening from the Iranian side at the holy sites of Jerusalem as well, and that is a cause of concern. The biggest question right now is that has Iran again crossed the line and attacked the Jewish, Muslim and in fact Christian holy sites here as well, because that's what we are noticing. In fact, just seconds ago there was a ballistic missile that was launched towards this area and there was an interception that took place. So that's the latest coming in here. The entire holy old city of Jerusalem is closed right now for tourists and pilgrims because of the situation that is developing. Today is the 18th day of the conflict, and NDTV continues to report exclusively from Jerusalem, Tel Aviv and other locations of Israel, even as there is no sign of any kind of peace agreement or a ceasefire that happens. There is a stalemate that continues across this region. Reporting from the whole city of Jerusalem for NDTV, this is Aditya Rajkar. I'm reporting right now from the Holon station here in Tel Aviv. Out on the outskirts, there has been a missile attack right behind me. You can see this entire area that has been devastated, and there are fresh alarms that have come across. You can see a lot of devastation in this entire area. A lot of glass panes that have been completely scattered all across this elevator, this escalator that you could see. These are latest visuals coming on your screens right now on NDTV exclusively, where you can see completely a lot of destruction in this entire area. If I take you a little further, where there have been a lot of debris that have accumulated here. These are visuals coming on your screens right now. You could see the kind of devastation that has happened all across here. This is the Holon station that we are talking about, where normally there's a huge crowd of passengers during rush hours and otherwise, but right now there's been a huge destruction out here and fresh alarms going across. The station has been completely closed, but these are the latest visuals coming on your screens of the kind of devastation that has happened out here. We'll try to show you more visuals of the kind of destruction that has happened here. You can see right now here on your screens the kind of devastation that has happened. These are latest visuals only on NDTV of the kind of destruction that has happened out here. The kind of escalator you can see not being used right now. The station completely closed, and now emergency workers are also out here trying to analyze the situation and see what is happening right here. So that's the latest coming from Tel Aviv, where missile has hit a station, and of course there's been a little destruction out here. Emergency workers right behind me trying to analyze the situation and see how things will unfold further and how station can be opened next. Reporting from Holon near Tel Aviv in Israel, this is Aditya Rajkar for NDTV.
Thank you, Aditya, for getting us that ground report. Do stay safe. We will keep coming back to you for more on that. Now, there are two leaders and one war. We're talking about Benjamin Netanyahu and Mujtaba Khamenei, and they really remain at the center of swirling rumors when it comes to their whereabouts and their health. While Netanyahu has dismissed speculations with that public appearance at that cafe, questions continue to mount as far as Mujtaba Khamenei is concerned, who hasn't been seen ever since he took charge after the death of his late father. Take a look at the details you need to know and the rumors doing the rounds.
Two men, the faces of this war. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Iran's new supreme leader Mujtaba Khamenei at the center of raging rumors about their whereabouts and well-being. After days of speculation, a video of Netanyahu became a talking point as some pointed to what appeared like 6 fingers on one hand, claiming that the video was AI generated. Netanyahu posted this video of him enjoying coffee at a Jerusalem cafe to scotch the rumors.
נהגים, פנטסטי. אתה רוצה לספור את מספר אצבעות?
אתה יכול להראות לנו?
פה. פה. היית?
יפה מאוד.
לחיים.
NDTV's Aditya Rajkol is the only journalist to visit the Sataf Cafe and talk to people who were there, confirming that the Israeli Prime Minister did indeed visit the cafe.
This is the cafe right behind me where Netanyahu had come. If you can see these visuals, this is the exact cafe where he had made a funny claim of the 5 fingers or the 6 fingers that people were claiming, and the AI people were claiming on social media.
The Prime Minister of Israel also appeared on camera on Tuesday evening to claim the killing of Iran's security chief Ali Larijani. Israeli authorities also released still photographs of Prime Minister Netanyahu from what appeared like a war room. On the other side, intense speculation continues as to the whereabouts and health of Mujtaba Khamenei, who has not been seen in public since his elevation. Mujtaba made a miraculous escape from the bombing that killed his father, Ayatollah Khamenei, and other members. The new Ayatollah reportedly sustained severe injuries to his leg, arm, and hand.
A lot of people are saying that he's badly disfigured. They're saying that he lost his leg, the one leg, and he's been hurt very badly. Other people are saying he's dead. Nobody's saying he's 100% healthy.
But the Iranian government continues to insist that he's okay.
I can tell you that he's fine. I'm sure you have already heard about his message. And hopefully, very soon, he will give another message to the public.
Earlier reports also said that Mujtaba Khamenei is being treated in Moscow, a claim that was denied by the Iranian envoy to Russia. So the question now remains, how is he and where is he? Apart from one audio statement, there's not been any appearance from Mujtaba Khamenei now. Bureau Report, NDTV.
Let's just get you breaking news coming in of Ukraine. They're deploying drone experts in the West Asia region. And Zelensky, they're confirming that over 200 Ukrainians are in West Asia, which is why Ukrainian experts will be there in order to counter the Iranian drones. That is what Zelensky has said. Now, Zelensky is saying that deployment expanding the region. Ukraine has expanded its defense role in the Israel-Iran war as well. Well, Arjun joining us in order to get us the latest from what's happening. Arjun, what are the lessons that, perhaps the Gulf countries and Israel, including the US, can learn from Ukraine? Because now Ukraine is deploying its drone experts in the West Asia conflict. And they're going to be, helping those, particularly when it comes to Ukrainians there who are now living in the Middle East. And this is in regard to that, where Zelensky is now offering help.
Absolutely, Divya. Let me just take you quickly through what Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, in fact, mentioned while addressing the British Parliament late last evening. Now, Zelensky has clearly underlined 201 Ukrainian drone experts have currently been already stationed across West Asia. This includes the UAE, Qatar and Saudi Arabia, three countries in which Ukrainian drone experts have already arrived. They're also arriving in Kuwait shortly. Meanwhile, 34 more experts are on standby as we get you this broadcast. Now, not only this is an important moment in the war which could in fact turn the very tides, shift the sands of West Asia, as we say, because it's the Shahed drones, Iranian Shahed drones, that have been dealing the maximum damage and the biggest blows to countries across the Gulf. They've been hitting oil refineries, so on and so forth. We've also seen attacks on Ukrainian vessels purportedly by these drones. So if there is a substantial counterweight to these drones, then this escalation might start slipping out of Iran's hands, which currently it does not seem to. And we also know that Ukraine has become the forefront country when it comes to drone technology, its manufacturing, and also countering drones, as we have seen Ukraine fight Russia for the better part of more than 4 years now. The war has entered into its 5th year. Back to you.
Right, of course, the fact that Ukraine has been fending and standing its ground, fighting with the Russian forces there over the last 4 years, like you mentioned, since 2022, February of 2022. Well, thank you so much, Arjun, for getting us those details. Now, the United States push in order to secure the Strait of Hormuz is facing global hesitation, with sharp political exchanges now in focus. Donald Trump says most allies have refused to send ships. Britain says talks are ongoing, but there is just no decision that's been made yet. It is the Prime Minister Starmer insisting that the United Kingdom will not be drawn into a wider war. France has also signaled conditional support, but only after tensions start to ease off. It's President Emmanuel Macron who stressed that France is not part of the war. Germany too has bluntly underlined that this is not our war. Meanwhile, the European Union says there's no appetite to risk lives. Over in Asia, China has called for calm, while Japan and South Korea remain undecided. But it's Trump who's hit back at mocking the allies. He says that Starmer is not Winston Churchill and suggests that Macron's time in office is running out. Listen in to the reactions coming about by Donald Trump.
Unfortunately, Keir is not Winston Churchill.
At the beginning of this conflict, I made it really clear that we wouldn't join the offensive strikes that the US and Israel were carrying out on Iran. We've got about 300,000 British nationals in the Gulf region, and it's important that we protect them and our Gulf allies.
President Macron has just said in the last hour that he will never join a task force in the Strait of Hormuz until hostilities finish. Yet yesterday you said...
Who said that? Who said?
President Macron of France. What's your reaction to that, sir?
Well, he'll be out of office very soon, so we'll have to see. I don't know.
Je le redis ici, la France n'a pas choisi cette guerre. Nous ne prenons pas part. Et nous avons une position purement défensive, en protection de nos ressortissants, en soutien de nos alliés.
Let's just also talk about the impact that we're seeing here in India because of the significant relief that's come about in terms of the energy supplies with the recent arrivals of key vessels. We're talking about 3 vessels carrying liquefied petroleum gas and crude oil amid regional tensions. In the latest, the oil tanker that's reached India, the crude oil tanker which was en route to India via the Strait of Hormuz, reached the Gulf of Kutch and has reportedly reached the Mundra port in Gujarat. This comes just after 2 LPG carriers that reached India. We're talking about the Shivalik and the Nanda Devi. They reached, just on Monday and on Tuesday as well, bringing approximately about 46,000 metric tons of LPG. We saw Nanda Devi arriving at that port in Dwarka in Gujarat, carrying 46,500 metric tons of LPG together. These 2 vessels delivered a combined total of over 92,000 metric tons of LPG, equivalent to about 65.3 lakh domestic cylinders. Now, with that, we're slipping into a short break. Back with a whole lot more on the other side. To stay with us.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Signature, India's #1 camera phone. Grab Motorola Signature today.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आपको शायद पता नहीं होगा, अपार ने INS विक्रांत के लिए 150 से ज्यादा तरह के केबल्स बनाए हैं। देश के टॉर्पीडोस में भी हैं अपार के केबल्स। वंदे भारत भी अपार के केबल से ही स्पीड पकड़ती है और यही वायर्स और केबल्स हमारे घरों को भी पावर करते हैं। विश्वास इसमें अपार, तभी तो ये है देश का तार।
Some moments in life are lifelong. Some memories are lifelong. Just like Tata Power Solar Roof, best quality solutions, lifelong service guarantee and unmatched expertise. Ye on the quality lifelong.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. INS Vikrant. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
The man behind Roaring Lion.
Can you say a word?
Israel's warfighter Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spoke to him at length yesterday. Thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth, and for the enormous friendship of the people of India. They are much admired and loved in Israel. And I won't get into the details of the conversation, but I've spoken to him and I've spoken to many other leaders in the region and beyond. Thank you.
First word since he declared war on Iran.
Just behind me, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
An NDTV world exclusive to Aditya Raj call. Benjamin Netanyahu on NDTV.
Tamil Nadu elections don't play small. They play big. High stakes, high voltage, high drama. Before the blockbuster unfolds, the OG of election coverage comes to Tamil Nadu to track the elections, spotting the mood and bringing perspectives from every side. On the NDTV network.
Let's just switch our focus to Assam now. A massive jolt for the Congress there after senior Assam Congress leader and Lok Sabha MP has resigned from the Congress on Thursday, fueling speculations that he may soon be joining the BJP. In a letter to Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, he expressed overwhelming sadness over his decision to quit the party. As per sources, he was feeling sidelined in the party for months and upset with Gaurav Gogoi. That is the allegations that have been made that he was humiliated by the state leadership. And Congress MP Gaurav Gogoi has hit out at Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma. Meanwhile, calling the leader a veteran. A resignation is a significant. Basically, this is coming about ahead of the polls in the state. And this is coming days after former, Assam Congress chief Bhupen Kumar Bora also quit the party, raising fresh questions about the organization's functioning under the state unit president, Gaurav Gogoi.
लगातार हमको अनेक कुछ इशू में हमको ह्यूमिलिएट किया जा रहा था। मुझे कांग्रेस नेतृत्व भी कोई सिंपैथेटिक नहीं था, एम्पैथिक नहीं था। तो मुझे लगा कि मैं बहुत आइसोलेटेड हो गया, मैं बहुत लोनली हो गया, क्योंकि मेरा सारा जीवन में कांग्रेस का साथ जुड़ा हुआ हूँ।
जितेंद्र सिंह डांगरिया और मैं प्रद्युत डांगरिया लगत कथाखिनि पाति आइछु और मीडियात जिखिनि कथा बारंबार ओলাই आइছে, मैं भाबो प्रद्युत दार दरे एजन ज्येष्ठ कांग्रेस नेता তেখেতক বাৰম্বাৰ মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰীয়ে তেওঁলোকৰ যিখিনি মানুহ মিডিয়া ভিতৰত আছে এই মিডিয়া যোগেদি মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰীয়ে বাৰম্বাৰ ৰাজনৈতিকভাৱে ক্ষতি প্ৰদূত বৰলৈ ডাঙৰ কৰিবলৈ বিচাৰে।
The Congress party in Assam has become a party of Mia Muslims. This is why one after the other, every Hindu leader in Assam is leaving the Congress ship and is telling the Congress party that it's a pro-infiltration, illegal infiltration party. Under Rahul Gandhi and Gaurav Gogoi, the Congress party has become a party which backs the fringe, is anti-Hindu, anti-Assam.
And switching our focus to battleground West Bengal, a high-profile contest has taken shape in Kolkata's Bhabanipur. It's Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee who is set to face Leader of Opposition Suvendu Adhikari in a direct battle in the Assembly elections coming up this year. Here's more.
A poll battle for ages, but an even bigger rematch. Commander taking on her former lieutenant. Mamata Banerjee versus Suvendu Adhikari. Bengal Chief Minister versus Bengal Leader of Opposition on Didi's turf, Bhabanipur. Bhabanipur has long been a Trinamool Congress stronghold. An entirely urban seat in South Kolkata, it has consistently backed the TMC since 2011. South Kolkata also happens to be Mamata's bastion, winning the Lok Sabha seat 6 times. Bhabanipur has been Mamata's political base, especially among the urban voters. Now, in 2026, the contest becomes significantly sharper. The BJP has fielded Suvendu Adhikari from Bhabanipur, a contest he is not a stranger to. In the 2021 Assembly elections, Adhikari defeated Mamata Banerjee in Nandigram by a narrow margin. One of the most closely watched results of that election, and a shocker in the eyes of many. While Mamata retained power statewide, that loss gave the BJP a major political moment. The 2026 Bhabanipur contest now brings that rivalry into a direct electoral fight. For the BJP, the strategy is to challenge Mamata Banerjee in her strongest urban seat and increase political pressure during the campaign. For the TMC, holding Bhabanipur remains critical, not just numerically, but symbolically, as the Chief Minister's own constituency. The seat has around 2 lakh voters and recorded a turnout of over 60% in the last by-poll, indicating strong urban participation. With both leaders in the fray, Bhabanipur is likely to be one of the most heated battles in the state. Former allies, now bitter rivals, taking on one another in battleground Bengal. A direct Mamata Banerjee versus Suvendu Adhikari battle, moving from a symbolic rivalry to a head-to-head electoral test. Sriram Ganesh's report for NDTV.
Let's just also get you more news, and this is India's anti-terror agencies that have launched a major crackdown arresting 7 foreign nationals in high-stakes operation. The NIA, or the National Investigating Agency, has detained 1 American and 6 Ukrainian nationals accused of undergoing terrorist training in Myanmar and illegally entering India. Sources say weapons and drone training equipment was recovered, with drones allegedly sourced from Europe. A special court has granted 11 days custody for further investigation. Amongst those arrested is American national Matthew Van Dyke, and also identified as a mercenary with links to global conflict zones. He's known to run a private military training outfit and has previously operated in war-hit regions. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian government has lodged an official protest with the Ministry of External Affairs demanding the immediate release of its citizens and unimpeded consular access. Now, Ukrainian authorities say there's no proof yet of any unlawful activities and have confirmed legal assistance is being extended to their nationals. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition. News and updates will continue on the other side. Thank you for your time.
Let me get you pani puri now. बहुत अच्छा पानी पूरी खिलाया आपने. DMK, I have others as well, but Saeed Hafiz, what do you call pani puri in Tamil?
We'll call it pani puri, just like people in the north call idli, sambar vada.
So it is 3-language policy.
Everybody doing politics. You also doing politics. I'm also doing politics.
You need to cool down with some pani puri. Let me get you pani puri now. Oh, my pani puri is gone soggy.
Language is heart and soul for us.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Signature, India's #1 camera phone. Grab Motorola Signature today.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार. विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी.
Some moments in life are lifelong. Some memories are lifelong. Just like Tata Power Solar Roof, best quality solutions, lifelong service guarantee and unmatched expertise. ये on the quality lifelong.
आपको शायद पता नहीं होगा, अपार ने INS विक्रांत के लिए 150 से ज्यादा तरह के केबल्स बनाए हैं. देश के टॉर्पीडोस में भी हैं अपार के केबल्स. वंदे भारत भी अपार के केबल से ही स्पीड पकड़ती है और यही वायर्स और केबल्स हमारे घरों को भी पावर करते हैं. विश्वास इसमें अपार, तभी तो ये है देश का तार.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind. I pause. I reflect. I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Across the country,
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
इनको यहाँ से जाना ही होगा.
जय मां दुर्गा!
There is no bigger battle in 2026. And nobody has reported Bengal like I have. Buckle up for an unforgettable election thriller. Will the BJP breach Mamta's fortress?
TMC जावे, BJP आसपे.
Can Didi fight off her life's biggest challenge?
বিজেপি ডাবল ইঞ্জিন সরকার এই লড়াই বাঁচতে হবে.
Battleground Bengal with Manogya Loiwal.
understand the Tamil Nadu twist, join me in the midst of our people, language, and politics. Vanakkam Tamil Nadu. Here we come.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
What is the current status of Iran's supreme leader Mojtaba Khamenei?
I can tell you that he's fine. I'm sure you have already heard about his message.
Haven't heard from Mojtaba Khamenei. There's some talk of him having been airlifted to Russia.
It's 10 a.m. and you are watching NDTV 24/7. I am Parmeshwar Bava. We've got an action-packed bulletin lined up for you with news from across the country and around the world. Let's begin with the top headlines you need to know. Iran's ultimate backroom power broker and Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's top aide, Ali Larijani, has been killed. This was the man behind Iran's war strategy. He was killed in Israeli strikes. Iran now vows to avenge Ali Larijani's death. In a first in this war, the US military says it's hit Iranian missile sites near the Strait of Hormuz with some of the most powerful bombs in the American arsenal. They fired multiple 2,200 kilogram deep penetrator bombs on hardened Iranian missile sites along Iran's coastline near the strait. A fresh wave of Iranian attacks on Dubai. Meanwhile, missiles have been intercepted. This as the US embassy in Baghdad has also been attacked. Another tanker arrives in India. Jaglarki, carrying 80,800 metric tons of crude oil, arrives at the Gujarat port. This is now the third Indian-flagged vessel to emerge from the conflict-affected region unharmed. AIADMK MP Shanmugam faces flack over sexist remarks on actor Nayanthara. The Congress and the DMK slammed the AIADMK and seek an apology. This as South Indian film body also writes to Shanmugam. Well, we begin the 10 a.m. bulletin with breaking news we're tracking at the moment. Iran has a barrage of missiles targeting central Israel, including Tel Aviv, marking one of the most direct and intense retaliatory strikes so far. Israeli emergency services have confirmed that 2 civilians, a man and a woman, were killed in Ramat Gan, not by a direct hit, but by falling shrapnel from intercepted missiles. We have latest visuals coming in courtesy Al Jazeera from Tel Aviv. Take a look at the visuals coming in from Israel.
Why?
My colleague Mohammed Ghazali has been tracking all the finer developments for us. He joins us live with all the details that we need to know. Ghazali, what more can you tell us about the scale of this latest missile barrage on Tel Aviv and central Israel?
Iran has launched this new wave of attacks on Israel with its missiles reaching into the central Israeli region, and it has hit the railway tracks over there. That has impacted the railway traffic in the central part of Israel, in the central region of Israel. That also shows that perhaps Iran has managed to overwhelm the aerial defense system of Israel as well, because all this while what we have heard from Israel is that all these injuries, all the people who are getting injured in Iranian attack are just part of the fragment which is intercepted by the missile interceptors, and that fragment is falling on civilian areas, and that is why people are getting injured. But that doesn't seem to be the story now, because there are multiple visuals which suggest that these people are getting impacted or getting injured because of the direct impact of the missiles which Iran is sending or is attacking through towards Israeli territory. So 2 people have been killed in this attack, and after Larijani, the national security chief of Iran, who has been assassinated, perhaps Iran has intensified its attack not just towards Israel but also towards the US bases or assets in the region, in the Gulf region. And that is why multiple videos have now come that how Iran has attacked US base, embassy as well as base in Iraq, and then there have been a base in UAE which is operated by the Australian Defense Forces. That has also come under attack from Iranian drones.
Ghazali, as always, thank you so much for sharing these details with us. We'll of course revert to you for regular updates. Do stay on with us for the next crucial update coming in too. Israeli forces have attacked a building in the Bashura neighborhood of Beirut. This is the latest we're tracking as Israel continues to bomb Beirut. This is Israel's fresh wave of attacks as far as Lebanon is concerned. You must note an entire building was leveled here in central Beirut early this morning. There was an enormous cloud of dust and smoke, and the entire building has come down now. There were a number of other locations in central Beirut hit in what appeared to be assassination strikes. This is actually where the Israelis use a smaller target of munition to come in and destroy just one room or one apartment in a residential building. We are seeing an escalating crisis. Take a look at the latest visuals coming in from Ground Zero. My colleague Mohammed Ghazali has been tracking the latest details for us as far as Lebanon's concerned. He joins us with the latest on what's happening in Beirut. Ghazali, we're picking up on the fact that an entire building has now come down in Beirut. We can see clouds of dust and smoke as Israeli attacks destroy buildings and target Beirut.
That's a classic Israeli style of putting pressure on any government of not sort of supporting Hezbollah, because what we have seen through multiple reports, not just in Western media but even in Israeli reports as well, that after ground invasion into Lebanon, when Israeli forces tried to get into Lebanon through ground, they faced massive repulsion from the Hezbollah fighters, and that is why this indiscriminate bombing, aerial strikes from Israel, flattening multiple buildings in the last 48 hours. Though Israel claims that it is flattening these buildings which may have or which has top Hezbollah commanders, but the civilian casualty is huge in the last 10 days of this war, because Hezbollah or the Lebanon came under attack 5 or 6 days after Israel started attacking Iran. Lebanon has faced huge civilian casualty in the last 1 week. More than 500 or even more than 800 people have been killed in these attacks, and perhaps Israel will continue to attack the civilian areas to pressure the Lebanese government in order to ensure that Hezbollah disarms itself, Hezbollah stops attacking Israel while Israel is engaged with Iran by attacking Iranian territory. So it appears now that Israel will continue, and it will also intensify attacking the civilian areas in Lebanon in order to pressure Hezbollah not to drag itself into the war. But it doesn't look so that even Hezbollah will not retaliate, because Israel is facing attacks from both Iran and Hezbollah in Lebanon.
Absolutely. Ghazali, as always, thank you so much for sharing the latest from Lebanon for us. Well, the toll that we have at the moment from the Ministry of Health is that 6 people were killed and 12 injured in the latest strikes. We don't yet have confirmed information about who the targets of these attacks were by the Israelis, but this is part of a broader pattern that we have seen across Lebanon over the last 2 weeks, as my colleague Mohammed Ghazali is highlighting. On that note, let's also turn to the latest visuals that are coming in as this crisis escalates. The IRGC has launched the 61st wave of missile strikes against Israel. Iran has intensified attacks on Israel with an aim to avenge security chief Ali Larijani's death. Iran struck areas inside Tel Aviv and near Tel Aviv to avenge security chief Ali Larijani's death. A train station was damaged in Israel near Tel Aviv. 2 civilians were killed in a strike. Meanwhile, Iran strikes the U.S. Embassy in Iraq once again. The U.S. Embassy in Baghdad was hit for the second time as Iran mounts offensives across the Gulf. This is coming in from Al Jazeera from Baghdad at the moment. Meanwhile, bomblets that seem to be cluster munitions were seen at the West Bank following sirens indicating an attack from Iran. Israel says Iran has been firing cluster munitions throughout the war, adding a complicated and deadly challenge to Israel's already stretched air defenses. Meanwhile, the Saudi Foreign Ministry says it will host the foreign ministers of a group of Arab and Islamic countries for a consultative meeting in its capital, Riyadh, this evening. Israeli military, though, attacked Iran's paramilitary group last stage in Tehran, and these visuals show the aftermath of the strike with at least 2 vehicles on fire. Meanwhile, Israeli Air Force has released this new video showing strikes on Hezbollah targets across Lebanon over the past day. In fact, this video shows Israeli forces targeting ammunition warehouses, launchers, and buildings allegedly used by Hezbollah operatives. Israeli forces have claimed that several Hezbollah members were eliminated in strikes in southern Lebanon. Meanwhile, the IRGC released this footage showing the launch of its Hajj Qasim ballistic missile in one of its most recent barrages for the first time since the start of this deadly war. The IRGC says that the barrage was aimed at Tel Aviv and Jerusalem and at US bases in Kuwait, in Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. Meanwhile, loud explosions were heard in Dubai as Iranian missiles were intercepted near the Dubai International Convention and Exhibition Center. Witnesses captured videos of missile interception and burning debris raining from the sky. Iran has hit the central Israel area in its latest missile attack. In fact, in these visuals, you can see thick plumes of smoke billowing out from a locality in a central district. There was a fresh missile attack bid on Holon Junction railway station in